So you want to learn about stinger transitions, huh? Yeah. You know, those really cool graphics that swipe across the screen and then reveal the next scene in your live streams? Yeah? You want to learn how to do that? I got you. Today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to show you guys how to create a stinger. It's going to be very, very simple. Very simple stinger. Something that just shows off your brand, helps you add more branding elements to your live streams. Now, for this, you are going to need Adobe After Effects. There is a free trial, so what you could do is follow along, download the free trial, encode that, and get that into your files before the subscription expires, the free trial expires, and then you never have to do it again. I subscribe to the Adobe Cloud. I find it extremely useful. I use Adobe Premiere, Photoshop. I use pretty much all of their Adobe products. It's really nice to have. It is kind of spendy, though. I do understand that. But After Effects is a lot of fun to use, guys. So let's go ahead and let's just get into this video, okay? Okay, so after you have the Adobe After Effects installed onto your PC, whether it's you're paying for the service or you're utilizing the free trial, you're going to be right here in After Effects. Make sure you have the up-to-date version of that. We're going to go ahead and open that. Okay. Now, once you have Adobe After Effects open, you're going to click on New Composition here, New Project. And then we're going to go ahead and name this. We're going to name this. We're going to make a stinger for Bomb Squad. So we're going to name this Bomb Stinger. Bomb Stinger. There we go. Okay, and we want our width to be 1920, our height by 1080. We want this to be full HD. I want this duration right here. I want this to be 2 seconds long. We don't want this to be too quick, but we don't want it to be too slow either. So 2 seconds is a nice happy medium. And then we're going to click OK. Now we're going to start off with the transparent background here. Now, if you don't have the transparent background, it would be right here, this little button. So if you click that on and off, that will toggle the transparent background because we want the scene to still be, we still want the scene that we're currently on still here. And then we want the animation to take place. And then once the animation takes place, once the screen is fully covered by the animation, then what we want is the scene in OBS to change. And then when this wipes back across, it will reveal the next scene. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start off with some simple shapes. The way I zoomed out right there is with the scroll wheel. I use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on our rectangle tool. You click and hold, you'll get these other shapes here. So for bombs transition, I think we're going to want to use the oval ellipse tool here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make our oval here. We're going to make it like a football. Okay, there it is. And then we can just go ahead and use this tool to grab it and bring it so we can see how it will slide across here, just like that. So we're going to go ahead and start with it back here. Now, what you can do is if you don't want all this moving around like this, is you can hold Shift, so click and then hold Shift, and then that will keep it on the axis here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click, hold Shift, and that's going to bring it straight across. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set it up right here, and then we're going to go ahead and right here in the tab for this ellipse tool here, so it's right here, it's labeled shape layer, but let's go ahead and rename that, and let's rename it as blue. We're actually going to use that blue, and then right here in transform, you're going to have position. So we're at the beginning of our animation here, so we're going to go ahead and set the position keyframe. So right there, and it laid down a little diamond right here indicating that the animation is going to start back here. And so now we're going to go to about the halfway point. which is about right here. And then we're going to go back a couple of frames. So 1, 2, we'll say 3 frames. So we're going to come back 3 frames. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on this tool. We're going to hold shift and we're going to drag it across until it covers up the whole screen. And then once it covers up the whole screen, we're going to go ahead and release the click and shift. And it will automatically put in a value right here for us. So now we have our 2 positions for this animation. So we'll let it play out. It'll come across just like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to highlight these 2 keyframes right here, and we're going to hit F9. And you see that changes them into like hourglasses right here. So now that we have that done, that's just going to smooth the animation. And then we're going to go to right here, about another 3 frames from the middle. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to add another position point right here. So we'll click on this to add another keyframe. So we've added another keyframe here. And then we're going to go all the way to the end. And we're going to grab our animation again. Left click, hold shift, pull it off the screen to about right here till it's all the way off the screen. And we have our end keyframe there. So now if we play the animation through, it's going to come across and then go back over. Now what we want to do is we want to add some, we want to change this up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and go into the time graph here, and we have all of our various points. So we're going to click on this and we're going to bring this up a little bit. So we'll bring that about up to here, and then we'll bring this up like this. And that's gonna make the animation zoom in and then zoom out. See how it zooms in? Okay, so let's go back to this because it did pull our animation in for some reason. So let's go ahead and bring this back again. Okay, now it should behave. There we go. Zooms in, pauses for a second, and then slides on out. So we're going to make it zoom back out as well. So we're going to go back into our graph, and we want this to zoom out. Say just like that. We'll play the animation through. It'll zoom in and zoom out. Nice and quick, nice and clean. Okay, so now that we've got that all figured out, now to make our job a lot easier here, we're just gonna go ahead and duplicate this layer. So we're gonna click on this layer, and then we're gonna hit Control D, and that's gonna duplicate our blue layer. And we're gonna go ahead and go to the middle here, and we're gonna say right about right here, and we're gonna choose a new color for this second blue. So we're gonna rename this one, let's see here, we'll name it gold. There we go. So we're going to click on the layer again, and we're going to click up here, and we're going to find a nice gold color. There, just like that. I like that. And then we're going to hit OK. I want to put that layer underneath the blue layer. So we'll go like that. Let's go ahead and collapse the blue. Okay, so there we are. We have our gold underneath of our blue, but we want it to poke out a little bit. So let's go ahead and again, click, hold shift, pull that out so that there's just a little bit of it peeking. There we go. So now if we play this through, we're going to see some of the gold come ahead. And there we go. So let's go to where it pauses. Let's go right back here. And let's adjust it so that it is actually ahead of it still. That way it plays the whole animation through ahead of it. And there we go. So now let's go ahead and bring it back into the middle here. And 3 frames ahead. And we're going to go ahead and pull it backwards so that some of the gold is showing on the way out as well. Whoops. Let go of shift too soon. There we go. And then go to the end of the animation. And at the end of the animation, we will again pull it out a little bit. And we'll pull all of this off the screen. Just like so. Okay, and if we play that through, we get a nice zoom in and zoom out. Play it again. Zoom in and zoom out. Okay, now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to have our logo right here front and center of the screen. So we're going to go ahead and right click right here, click import and file. We're going to use another picture for the sake of this. So we're going to go ahead and use Drew the Dude's. I already made a stinger for Drew the Dude, but we're going to go ahead and use his anyway. So here it is, Drew's picture. So we're going to go ahead and drop this down here. And there it is, sitting on top of his, sitting on top of everything. So we're going to click right on this little square here, hold shift so that we don't distort the image. And we're going to shrink it on down. So we want it to come into about right. We want it to come in about right there. So we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. And at the beginning of the animation, we want to go ahead and shrink it on down. So we're going to hold the right click again, hold shift, shrink it down to about right there. And then we're going to add a transform and we're going to say scale. We're going to add a keyframe right there on scale. Because we're going to scale it up as the animation comes all the way across. So as the animation comes across to, we're going to say right about here is when it will be full size. So we're going to go ahead and click again right here. Hold shift so we don't distort our image. And we want it to come in to about right there. And then again, we're going to highlight these 2 keyframes. Hit F9 to make it smoother. And we're going to go ahead and play it through and see how this looks so far. Okay, so that's cool and all. That is cool and all. But we don't want the logo to appear until it passes the blue layer. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to collapse this and we're going to go to the blue layer and we're going to duplicate this layer one more time. So Control D. Now we've duplicated it and we're going to put this above the logo. And now the logo's disappeared. So right here, we're going to have track matte, right? Okay, so we're going to click alpha matte blue 2. So now his logo appears again. So now let's go ahead and check out this animation. And it disappears. It comes in and disappears. That's exactly what you want it to do. You want it to come in, pause, and then disappear. Easy. That we have our stinger done. This is a done transition. We can go ahead and use this for OBS. So we're going to go ahead and go to File. We're going to go to Export and add to Adobe Media Encoder. Okay, and now that we're here in Adobe Encoder, here in the drop-down menu, you're going to want to choose WebM. If you do not have the WebM installed on the PC that you're encoding with, so WebM will allow us to use our alpha channel. You can find it, just do a Google search for WebM, and you'll be prompted to install that WebM extension. And once you have it installed, you're going to have to restart all of this. So make sure you save your project and then reopen everything, and you should have WebM in this drop down. Now, once you have that installed and selected, you're going to go ahead and click on custom for your preset. And that's going to bring you to something that looks like this right here. So we are at 1920 by 1080. We want that. Yes. Our file size at 4 megabits. We don't want to go too far above 5. 6 is acceptable, so we can increase this quality up to 65. 69 is a little too high. 67. So we can increase the quality up to 67 while keeping the file size pretty small. Now, this is extremely important. Make sure you have the alpha channel check marked right here. You do want to include the alpha channel. That's what makes the whole magic of the stinger transition. Now we're going to go ahead and use the maximum render quality. Due to the fact it's such a small file, we can go ahead and do that. So we're going to click OK. And then we're going to go click the Start Queue, Enter. And you can see our transition right here taking place as the PC renders the animation for us. Okay, and our stinger is done. So we can click right here to go to the file location. And here it is, Bomb Stinger. So we can leave it right here in the untitled project AME. We can move this to a easier to find location. So for this instance, we'll just go to the desktop. So now it is at the desktop. And exit out of all these programs. So there we have it. A really cool scene transition that we can use to better show off our branding and have a nicer transition from our game scene to our intermission scene or our just chatting scenes. However you want to use the stinger, you can use it. It's really easy to add this into OBS. If you guys would like me to show you, I could definitely show you how to do that. But there is, in your transitions, you'll see that there's a stinger option. And it'll be as simple as selecting the file that you've named that stinger transition. You could also add sound. I kind of missed a step there and didn't show you guys how to add the sound. But it's the same way as importing the PNG file for your logo. You would just import it right there in that same spot by right-clicking, importing the file, and just select any audio that you want. You want that audio to be approximately the same duration as the stinger. So in this case, it would be a simple audio clip that was, say, 2 seconds long. And you can find a lot of those on Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound has a lot of free downloadable sounds that you can get. You can pay for a subscription to get a larger library or a larger download amount, because I think you are limited at this point to how many you can download for free. But there's lots of really cool whoosh sounds or whatever you want to add to your transitions. This is a really cool tip. So if you guys enjoyed this content, please make sure that you leave a like and comment on the video. Also, just comment what more you would like to see from me for tutorials and all that good stuff. Also, guys, I do stream to Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Link is down in the description below. Thank you guys for checking this out. I hope it helped you out. Much love, everybody. Happy streaming.